Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the British Accent Podcast. I'm Nick.
And I'm Emily. Today, we've got a rather intriguing topic: how to practice English without anyone knowing you're doing it. Secret techniques, if you will.
It sounds a bit like a spy mission, doesn't it? But really, it's about finding clever, low-key ways to weave English practice into your daily life, without drawing attention or feeling self-conscious.
Exactly. Because sometimes, especially if you're learning in a place where English isn't widely spoken, or if you feel shy, the thought of practicing out loud in front of others can be quite daunting.
So today, we'll be sharing some practical tips and sneaky little tricks to help you practice English quietly, subtly, and effectively. You'll be surprised how many chances there are to improve without anyone noticing.
Whether you're at work, on public transport, or just at home with family, these methods will help you keep learning in the background, all while blending in perfectly.
Let's dive right in and start uncovering these secret techniques, shall we?
Alright, Nick, let's start with something quite simple, but often overlooked: shadowing. For those who might not know, shadowing means quietly mouthing or whispering along with an English audio, like a podcast or audiobook, without speaking loudly.
Yes, and it's brilliant because you're training your mouth muscles, rhythm, and intonation without anyone else hearing you. You could be sitting on a bus or in a cafe, just silently moving your lips in sync with the audio.
Exactly. And if you want to take it a step further, you could also do mental rehearsal. That's where you imagine conversations, or practice dialogues silently in your head. No one around can hear you, but your brain is still actively working on the language.
I do that all the time, Emily. Before I meet someone or go to a meeting, I rehearse what I might say in English quietly in my mind. It boosts my confidence, and no one knows what I'm up to.
Another sneaky tip is using sticky notes or labels around your home or workspace. You can label objects with their English names. That way, every time you see the item, you get a little English vocabulary practice without saying a word.
Oh yes, I've seen that done. It's subtle but effective. Imagine walking past the fridge and seeing refrigerator or magnet stuck there. It keeps English present in your daily environment without anyone noticing.
Also, when you're alone, try thinking in English as much as possible. Describe what you're doing, what you're feeling, or what you plan to do next. It doesn't have to be spoken aloud. Your inner monologue is a powerful learning tool.
And if you want to practice writing but keep it discreet, try journaling in English. You can keep a private notebook or even type on your phone using a secret app or password. It's a great way to practice sentence structure and vocabulary quietly.
Absolutely. And here's a fun one: when you're scrolling on your phone or browsing online, switch your device's language to English. It's a very low-key way to immerse yourself without anyone else knowing.
That's a brilliant trick, Emily. You can do it on your phone, your computer, or even social media accounts. Suddenly, you're reading and interacting with English all day long without saying a word.
Finally, if you have earbuds or headphones, listen to English music, podcasts, or audiobooks while doing chores or commuting. No one else hears the words, but your brain is soaking up the language naturally.
Here's another secret weapon: subvocalization. That means speaking very quietly, almost like whispering to yourself, so no one around can hear, but you're still forming the words with your mouth.
Oh, I love that one. It's perfect for people who live with others or share rooms and don't want to be overheard. You can practice pronunciation, or rehearse phrases in your room without drawing attention.
Exactly. And even if you're doing household chores, washing the dishes, folding laundry, watering plants, you can silently rehearse vocabulary or describe the task to yourself in English.
Like, now I'm washing the plates. The water is warm. This plate is ceramic. It seems so simple, but it reinforces your thinking in English habit. You're connecting English to everyday actions, not just textbooks.
And the more natural that becomes, the more fluent your thoughts start to sound. Even better, you don't need to carve out extra time in your schedule, it just becomes part of what you already do.
Another sneaky idea. Use voice typing apps on your phone in English. When you're alone, you can quietly speak to your device and see how well it captures your pronunciation. It's like having a little English test in your pocket.
That's a clever one. Plus, it's a great way to become aware of which words are difficult for your accent or tone. And because it's just you and your phone, there's no judgment, just practice.
And we can't forget the power of silent reading. Reading English books, blogs, or articles silently still counts as language input. It improves your vocabulary, grammar awareness, and even helps with natural sentence flow.
Absolutely. And if you want to challenge yourself a bit more, try reading aloud in a very soft whisper when you're sure no one's around. Or do it in the shower, great acoustics, no audience.
Yes. And here's another hidden gem, practicing facial expressions and intonation in the mirror. You can say a single phrase like, really, or that's interesting, and explore different ways to express tone. It's quiet but powerful.
It helps so much with confidence. And when you do have to speak English in public, your voice and face already know what to do. It feels less awkward, more familiar.
These small, secret strategies build up over time. They're like little seeds of progress that grow stronger every day, even if no one else sees them.
Here's another clever thing you can do, assign English names to the items in your home. So instead of just looking at your fridge, you think refrigerator, or milk carton, or butter compartment. It turns your environment into a living dictionary.
Yes. That's a brilliant tip. You're basically surrounding yourself with English, invisibly. And you don't have to label things unless you want to, you can do it all in your mind.
And when you walk through the kitchen or the bathroom, just describing things mentally, like tap, toothbrush, cupboard, mug, spoon, you're reinforcing vocabulary you already know without sitting down to study.
One of my favorites is to pretend I'm giving a mini tour or tutorial. So I'll be making tea and in my head I'm like, first, boil the water. Then add a tea bag. Let it steep. It's like being your own English teacher.
That's actually really effective. You're not only using verbs and nouns, you're also practicing sequencing and instruction giving, which are common in real conversations.
Exactly. And it becomes second nature over time. The brain starts to default to English in these contexts, which is how fluency begins, bit by bit, layer by layer.
And if you ever feel bored with the same words, you can mix things up. Try describing textures or emotions. For example, while brushing your hair, say in your mind, the brush is smooth. My hair feels soft today. I'm feeling a bit tired, but I'm glad I'm taking care of myself.
That's such a warm way to connect English with your daily life. It turns language into something kind and personal, not just academic.
One last stealthy trick, audio notes. You can record short English reflections on your phone when you're alone. Just 1 or 2 minutes, today I felt nervous in a meeting, or I saw a funny dog on the street. Over time, you'll notice your storytelling improves.
Another underrated method, reading things in English aloud just with your lips, without making a sound. It sounds a bit odd, but it trains your mouth muscles. You're still practicing pronunciation, even if no one hears it.
Yes, it's kind of like shadow practice, but ultra-private. You can do it while reading an email or scrolling through subtitles. Just mouth the words. That muscle memory builds up over time, quietly but effectively.
Also, you can use gestures or body language to act things out. For example, you silently say, "I'm opening the window," while actually doing it. You're connecting action with language, which helps retention massively.
Definitely. That physical engagement with words, the kinesthetic part, makes the vocabulary more memorable. It becomes real instead of just something written in a book.
Another secret weapon. English subtitles on everything. You may not be saying anything, but your brain is catching rhythm, sentence structure, and new words all the time. And it doesn't feel like studying at all.
I sometimes recommend switching your phone or social media apps to English. It's subtle, but you're seeing settings, notifications, edit profile, words you interact with constantly.
And that kind of repeated exposure, even without formal study, can make everyday English feel normal and non-threatening. You're not forcing yourself, you're simply living with the language.
And if you're in a situation where you can't be verbal at all, like sitting on a bus or in a meeting, you can mentally translate things around you. Try thinking, what would I call this in English? Or, how would I explain this moment to someone in English?
That's so true. You're turning even quiet, unspoken moments into active learning. And no one even knows you're doing it. It's your own little language gym.
You know what else works brilliantly? Keeping a secret English diary. Nothing fancy, just a note on your phone or a little notebook. A couple of lines a day. I felt tired today. Work was overwhelming. It doesn't have to be poetry.
Yes. And because it's private, there's zero pressure to be perfect. You're just using the language to process your day. It's real-life language, not textbook stuff.
Exactly. And if you're shy about people seeing it, use initials or little symbols only you understand. It's your code. You're building fluency without inviting judgment.
Another little trick. Change your internal voice to English, even just for a minute or two. If you're thinking about dinner, think it in English. What should I eat? Instead of your native language. It's subtle, but powerful.
That one's a game changer. It trains your brain to operate in English before you even open your mouth. And no one can hear your thoughts, so again, it's completely discreet.
Also, sometimes I tell learners, practice saying little routines silently in your head. Like, when you're brushing your teeth, now I'm brushing my teeth. Now I'll wash my face. It's simple, low pressure, and totally invisible.
And repetition like that makes those phrases second nature. You'll suddenly find they come out automatically when you do get the chance to speak.
Exactly. And the beautiful part is, you don't need a classroom, a teacher, or even a partner to make progress. Just a bit of awareness and creativity.
Learning English secretly, quietly, privately, it's still learning. And sometimes, it's even more effective because there's no fear holding you back.
So, if you've ever felt too shy to practice out loud, or you've worried what people might think, you're not alone. But now you know, there are ways to improve your English quietly, invisibly, and powerfully.
Absolutely. Language learning doesn't always need to be loud or public. Every little silent step you take still counts. Thinking in English, journaling, whispering to yourself, it's all progress.
And remember, your journey is your own. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. Even secret practice is real practice. You're building something solid, even if no one else sees it yet.
Thanks for spending your time with us today. We hope these quiet techniques make your English journey feel a bit more doable and a lot more personal.
This has been the British Accent Podcast. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and never underestimate the power of your quiet efforts.
Cheers, and take care.